This program was produced by and first broadcast on Radio Kidnappers, a community access media station. Thanks to New Zealand On Air for making this type of programming possible.
Good morning, everyone. This is Heiko from the Acupuncture On Air show. Today we're going to be talking with Mana Fleming from Christchurch. We've had a few talks with her already, and this will be our final one for the interim. Good morning, Mana. How are you?
Good morning. I'm well, Heiko. It's a great day here in Christchurch, and hello to everybody up there in the Hawke's Bay.
Now, not only are you you're an expert on latent pathogens, but you're an expert on what's the word? Hockey.
Yeah, there's a few teams here from Hawke's Bay, actually.
Okay, you're going to whip them, aren't you?
Well, they're not in our grade.
Oh, right, okay.
I don't get to whip them.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, but listen, today is one. It's an interesting topic for me, and has this obscure title of latent pathogens, and of course, as Chinese medicine practitioners, we can sort of understand that. But tell us first, what is a latent pathogen, like according to the traditional Chinese medicine concept?
Look, I think, Heiko, it's such a thing that people have all their different ideas. So my idea about it is that you might feel unwell or slowly get unwell over a period of time, and the immunity is working against something. So in Chinese medicine sense, it might be cold or damp or heat, and some of the other things there, and it kind of gets trapped in the body, and so you kind of function okay, but you're not quite at full speed, and just over time you kind of start grinding down a bit and getting tired a lot, really. Sort of the most simple way I can talk about latent pathogens.
Yeah, because I know I've spoken with a number of Chinese medicine practitioners, and there's quite a bit of literature on it. Particularly, I think Will McLean, an author from Australia, and he's done various seminars and workshops on it. But we sort of can say it relates to sort of almost the modern day concept of viruses, bacteria, and funguses, and some practitioners will say, oh yes, it is to do with that, and others will say it's not, and then others will say, well, it is sometimes. But what about you, Mana? Do you think we can say that it's the ancient concept of a latent pathogen equates to sort of the modern day viral infection?
Look, I think it's possible, and I think they certainly contribute. The thing I get really interested in, especially now I'm sort of working more in the fitness industry, and it seems a bit of a fad of them too, is I think the fascial system, or the fascial webs that go through the body, I think they catch some of the viruses and pathogens and hold them in the body. And because those fascial systems have various depths, that sometimes that pathogen gets pushed further and further in the body towards the organs and so on, creating quite chronic and full-on debilitation, really.
Yeah, because I do think there is a definite, in some instances, certainly there's a clear correlation between the ancient concept of latent pathogen and then the modern concept of viruses and bacteria. And an example that I use is actually just this, is the modern day cold sore, the herpes simplexus virus 1 or whatever, if you want to be technical. And modern science has shown that it actually lives like in the jaw, in the TMJ joint, right? And for many people, they have it, and then it just stays there and doesn't come out, doesn't do anything. But then maybe with age, with stress, change of environmental factors or whatever, then it'll come out, and it'll come out there and then go down and then go to your lips and give you the the cold sores. You get sick, you get it, and then it goes away again. And this myodes is sort of like, this latent thing. You've got this bug/virus thing hanging out there in the body, and then sometimes it comes out,
Yeah, that's right.
And there's and also then the other herpes simplexus too, that it lives in the sacrum, and then comes out, and I think these are the issues that where you can relate that, but just getting back to sort of the practicality of it, I want to, are these the treatments for this condition, if you like? Would you say you're more focused to using herbs, or more for acupuncture, or a combination of both?
Look, I'm actually a big fan of a combination of both, and certainly have used way more herbs in the past. I haven't had full access of my herbs, over the earthquakes and stuff, so I'm getting back to that. So in the interim, I've been treating most of it via acupuncture, and quite surprised sometimes how just acupuncture can help push things out quite strongly. I'll have somebody say, I've got a sore low back, and I'll put the needles in, and they've broken out in boils,
right?
Because it's the pathogen pushing out. So I definitely am a fan of both, and I think the herbs are exceptional at helping with it.
Yeah, and for me, I think I probably think the herbs is the number one treatment for it, and the acupuncture is more supportive, particularly for chronic type viral infections. Maybe Hep C or something like that. And also I find, when there's no measurable agent that's ever been identified, and then in terms of Chinese medicine, these conditions, these diagnoses, they really relate back to what we call, it's either phlegm or it's damp.
Yeah.
But I think just to make it a bit clearer for our audience, perhaps you might have a simple case history that you could quickly sort of air and just sort of describe.
Yeah, I can actually. A number of years ago, I had a woman turn up to clinic with chronic fatigue. Like, she was exhausted, couldn't even get to the gate, and she'd been to her Western medicine doctor, and the only option was to keep her in a wheelchair for the rest of her life. And I reckon she might have been sort of late 40s. So that would be a long time to be in a wheelchair. And I was really fortunate, because I said to her, how long have you been feeling like this? And she said, 18 months. And I said, okay, so it's sort of like it's moved through your body, and it's sort of creeping around in there. And I said, where did it start? And she said, in my calf muscle on both legs. And I said, look, 18 months ago, were you standing in cold water? And she said, yes, I was. She was washing down some concrete tiles on quite a cold day in bare feet. And I said, look, I think the cold's got in, and lurking or moving around your body latently. And so I'm just going to put these points in, and I put 4 acupuncture points in, and she couldn't see me for a couple of weeks. I said, look, you might actually end up having a wee sweat. So she came back 2 weeks later, and she said to me, oh my God, that she sweated, and that she worked sort of in reception on the front line. She said it was like I'd gotten out of the shower and she sweated for a week, and it was just dripping off her, but she felt much better. And I think I treated her 6 times, and it was completely gone. And so that's an example, I guess, of using acupuncture and somebody getting in early before it's 10 years down the track, so that you can actually push it out quite simply.
Yeah, and what can happen sometimes with a patient like that, then the diagnosis from the Western medicine just becomes completely obscured and different.
Yeah.
It'll be labelled as fibromyalgia
or chronic fatigue, I think it was.
And then they start on the drugs, and that creates another disease. But that's where I think with me in the clinic, it's these patients that they've been through the Western medical model, and then the diagnosis just ends up being from the doctor says, look, it's a virus, but we don't know which one, and we can't test for it. And they typically have these sort of vague type of symptoms. They're tired, they're a bit achy, they got sore muscles, and they're so tired then they can't sleep, and then their appetite's not good, and they've gone off their food. And then this is very much, it fits into this, latent pathogen concept. And when we know within Chinese medicine, I mean, you use the acupuncture protocol to bring out the sweat, but from a herbal protocol, we might use the formula guizitang, which it's got cinnamon in it, which is to create the sweat. And other times, we have a bunch of formulas that have rhubarb in them, which actually is to purge, is to sort of to give you diarrhea, to eliminate the disease, and even other herbal formulas that we have is to create vomiting, to take the bug out, and this is where sometimes I find in modern society that people are doing these things that are hindering the healing process. Like, for example, they'll get told, go and have some saunas, and then what ends up happening is that's actually not the right thing, because the body's already weak, and the pathogen, if you like, it's locked in a certain layer, and so you keep weakening the outside of the body, but then the inside layer where the bug is, gets stronger. And other times it's like when Chinese medicine they talk about inappropriate purging, which can equate to the modern day thing of enemas. Everyone's
it's the wrong way,
And then we say, look, you're actually doing yourself more harm. You're not actually getting rid of toxins. You're actually weakening. But it's a hard one to explain, because people have got that concept that you got to have carrot juice and have an enema, and But anyway, look, I probably should stop raving about this and finish up with the show, because Ken's looking at me. I think we're running out of time, and and I want to keep time for my great song at the end, of course. And of course, I know the audience wants to hear more of Mana, but we'll bring you back again. Maybe in a few months' time we'll have some more topics.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'd love to, and then you can tell us how you went with your the seniors hockey.
Senior, mate, it's masters.
Masters. All right, masters.
Seniors, completely different concept.
All right. All right, and seeing like latent pathogens is such a weird topic, I thought, and I'm sure Ken would agree that I've got a very weird song by Laurie Anderson called "Oh Superman." So we'll hear that, and then all the best, Mana, with today's games.
Thank you.
And we'll talk to you in a few months.
Lovely.
This program was produced by and first broadcast on Radio Kidnappers, a community access media station. Thanks to New Zealand On Air for making this type of programming possible.